Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin
And Chris.
and this is another episode of the Twin Jitsu podcast, where we are twins who
Podcast.
and do jiu-jitsu. We don't really have a topic today, so we're kind of just going to talk about a couple things that have happened recently. But I wanted to say thank you to all the people who have listened to the podcast.
Yeah, it's been cool. People quoting our dumb, whatever we say, our dumb quotes. It's been cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to go out in public and be recognized by people who already know you. It's like something that's kind of surreal.
Yeah.
And we're kind of used to it, but also not. So,
I mean, it is hard being noticed.
yeah, by people who already know you.
But we're getting used to it, so keep listening.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to approach us. Like, I know we're like friends outside of the podcast and like all that, but like,
Let's be friends in the podcast.
let's be in. Ooh, that's super meta, bro.
Yeah.
All right,
Meta?
meta.
What is
Meta.
that?
I couldn't explain it because I don't really understand it, but I feel like I feel like it was the right choice of word. If you won't,
Oh, sick.
that
dude.
was cool. We're on a groove. So Chris, you recently competed at. Well, first let's talk. I have a mustache, and you got a tattoo.
Yeah,
so
and
those are two new
one
things.
of them should go immediately.
I think that's pretty permanent, dude.
Yeah.
The tattoo.
Well, you got a tattoo of a mustache.
Yeah, no, I can't grow a mustache. What, are you crazy?
I did think about that. Like, if I ever got face tattoos, I think the coolest one would just be to get a black mustache on my upper lip.
That would be super cool.
Well, because you could grow over it and you wouldn't be able to see it.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a thought.
You should just try it out.
Try it out.
So, other than the mustache and the tattoo,
Well, I got a tattoo of our dead dog's paw. So we dug him up.
dude, come on, bro.
No, when we put him down, they did a mold of his paw. The artist scanned it, sketched it, and did it. It was only like 10 minutes. It was super fast.
Did it hurt? It's your first tattoo.
No, it literally felt exactly how I thought it would feel. But I do have a little funny story. So my wife and I went to the tattoo place. Didn't have an appointment. It was like right when they opened.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah. And well, why is that hilarious?
Because you said, dude, I have a funny story.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So, anyways, customer service at a tattoo shop is not very great. There was a guy who looked like Chewbacca tattooing this lady, and he just grunted at us, didn't really say anything. And so we were waiting. Oh, he did tell us the other artist was getting coffee. So the other artist came, had coffee. He was super awesome. True gent at Flash City Tattoo. But so he did his thing, and then last thing we had to do is pick the font for Dax's name. And so we're looking through, he's standing there with us, and some chick walks in, and there's no one else that can help her, and he's just like, "Hey, how's it going? What can I do for you?" She was like, "Yeah, I want to get my nipples pierced." So he gave us this look like, "All right, guys, you're gonna just go ahead.
You're going to have to take a 5.
Yeah, he's like, "Go ahead and just pick your font. I'm gonna go ahead and pierce these nips real quick, dude."
Dude, sometimes you got to pierce those
So
nips.
I mean, dude, within like 15 minutes, he pierced those nips, dude, and then he came and tatted us up. So he's living the life, I would say.
No, true professional.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that was funny to me. You didn't laugh, so.
No, I laughed
okay.
in my head after I thought, this wasn't funny. Also, a new drinking game that you can play while listening to the podcast is drink every time Chris says you're an idiot to me.
And then for Justin, anytime he says drink, because he said he wasn't going to say
and I've already
he said
it
it like 15 times already.
It's hard.
So,
So what was it, last weekend or the weekend before?
2 weekends ago.
You competed at the Nashville Open. How'd it go? Talk about it.
It was fun. For few days, I trained every day up even until Friday, the day before, which normally, you're not really. People say you shouldn't do it, but it helped me with my nerves because all day I was freaking out about it. But the day of, as we're driving there, I'm just a super emotional guy, and I kept, like, in good case, because I'm playing it over in my head a million times. In good scenarios, I would get like goosebumps, and I'd like tell Maria, like, "Hey, look at my arm; it'd be covered in goosebumps." But then when I would go bad in my head, I would feel like I was gonna throw up. But that, for me, it's most recently it just goes away as soon as you like get in the bullpen. I was ready to go. So yeah, the first match I was ultra heavy, brown belt, adult, jumped guard, which you got a pretty sick picture out of it, which everyone's turned into memes now. Did good, sweat. Because he had a match before mine, and I don't know if he was just tired or what, but he really wasn't trying to pass my guard, so I was just setting up a sweep. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember what I really swept him with.
Does anyone have the full match? Because I think
Professor Reggie has. Yeah, you've only seen the second match. I would like to watch it, but eventually I get to his back and choke him. I passed and went to his back, and then I got a bow and arrow choke. But it wasn't as tight as it could be. I think he just gave up. But It felt good. That's my first submission. I'll take it. It was my first submission in an IBJJF tournament. Really in a tournament. I mean, the only other submissions I've gotten were in the in-house tournament. So it felt good. And it finally feels like I'm a brown belt if I, can submit another brown belt in a competition. It made me feel good. And then my second match was going well. I jumped guard again, and I kind of went like straight into deep half, and he was trying to attack my arm, and I just pulled him over, and he didn't have my arm secured at all, so I ended up getting a sweep, and then I was standing. They repositioned us, and you saw in the video, I just screwed up right away, and he did a tripod sweep, but I got into like 50-50 and was preventing him from coming up and getting the sweep, and I had his leg secured, and then I could feel him going for my foot, but I was like, I'm fine. It was a weird position, and then as soon as I knew I was not fine, I tried to attack his foot, but it was too late.
I need to rewatch it.
And I did fight that guy. It was my second time fighting him. But after the match, he was like, man, he's like, you're way more aggressive than you were in Atlanta, and that was 2 years ago, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think anyone expects a ultra heavyweight to jump guard. So I'm going to keep on doing it.
How did you feel after? Were you sad that you lost, or kind of just
I wasn't
to get
sad.
the nerves over with?
No, I was just, because I felt like I don't know how to say this. I felt like I definitely could have won for sure, but I just screwed up.
But you did.
Yeah, just made a mistake, but I felt good. I didn't feel weak compared to the ultra heavies, and they were both smaller ultra heavies. But it was fun. And then, of course, watching everyone else was awesome. We got a few gold medals at our gym. Shouts out to everyone who competed. And it's cool seeing other people in the jiu-jitsu community.
Oh, yeah. A few people came up to you and thought you were me.
Yeah, from like Artista and stuff. And people who I don't even know where they're from. They're like, hey, man, how's it going? I'm like, good, man. What's up?
Yeah, you start to see a lot of that saying, like, even though you're traveling, like, whether it's to Atlanta or wherever, a lot of these people are just, like, within the region. Like, you see them all over. But even, too, when you go to California, you see a bunch of people you've seen before at other tournaments or whatever, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw, like, that Tyler Jackson guy. I saw him. I said, what's up? There's a lot of people I'm friends with on Facebook, but I've never really talked to. So that's always weird.
Isn't that what Facebook's for?
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool. I went outside after my match and probably to call you or something, and really to call as many people as I could to tell them I got a silver medal, but
Yeah, as soon as I answered and I heard the sniffles, I was like,
yeah. But there was a kid outside, dude, puking just and was that loud?
No, it was fine
Okay.
because you turned away from the microphone like a true professional.
But one of the security ladies was like, "Baby, you okay?" And she was white, but she was like, "Baby, you okay?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm just cutting weight." But it was funny. Good times.
And then so. Shortly after the tournament is when you traveled to Denver.
Yeah, 2 days later. Got the tattoo on Monday and then went to Denver on Tuesday to see Alex Person.
How was that?
It was good. To be honest, I have really bad anxiety sometimes, and it was really bad out there, and it kind of didn't let me enjoy the trip to its fullest, but
Well, yeah, we can. I'm sure we could do an episode on our different.
Yeah, I think we would need a psychiatrist
Battle with that would be interesting. Battle with like different anxieties. It's kind of weird because all like what are you going through, Chris? It's health anxiety. It's
major health anxiety, and I don't know why it started or how, but
it's weird.
If I had health insurance and money, I can tell you right now I'd be at the doctor's all the time.
Yeah,
but I don't have it.
That's what WebMD is for.
I have been very good about not getting on Google.
Yeah,
but 2 years ago, secret time, as Bert Chrysler says. 2 years ago, it was really bad, and I was in bed on WebDMB trying to figure out why.
We keep saying it wrong.
What is it?
WebMD.
WebDMB, IMDb,
WebDMT.
Yeah. But I was on Google searching illnesses to try and figure out why I was dying. But no one had told me I was dying. I just assumed I was dying because of how I was feeling. So, I've definitely convinced myself I have at least 40 different illnesses at one point in time.
Well, yeah, too, because one thing you'll search is like, I feel weird today. It's like, maybe you've had a bad day. Maybe you don't get much sleep. Maybe you have stage 4 cancer. It's like, well, fuck.
Someone who's been there a lot during my anxiety times has been shouts out to Dr. Joe,
Shout out,
who
Dr.
we're
Joe.
hoping to get on the podcast soon. But he told me if you're down in the dumps, if you stub your toe and you're down in the dumps, it's gonna hurt more.
Yeah.
But if you have sex and then stub your toe, it's not gonna hurt as bad.
Yeah.
So if you're already in like a bad state of mind, then anything your body's feeling is it's gonna be amplified because you're already in the shitter, I guess.
That goes for not even stuff. That goes for like emotions too. Like, if you're already feeling bad and then
that's
something.
the whole point.
Yeah. Oh.
That's why you're not a doctor.
So, what I was going to say is it's kind of weird because I don't deal with this anxiety and stuff as much, but I used to, like, very bad, from when it probably started when I was like, who knows, 12 or 13 years old, and then went on till I was like probably 18. But it was very bad panic attacks, always thinking I thought I had brain cancer for 10 years. And I wish I knew how I kind of eased it. Because occasionally I get those thoughts where I'm like, oh, something's wrong. But a lot of times I just tell myself, like, who cares? Or just like, I'm just like, whatever. Like, if that's it, okay. It's out of my control. But I don't know how I got, like, it sucks because, like, I texted you this when you were texting me from in Denver when I had to, like, talk you off the ledge, so to speak. I was like, I wish I could tell you what helped me or fixed me, but I don't know. I think jiu-jitsu helped a lot, But I think at that point, maybe I was already a little bit past it.
Yeah. I mean, I know why I'm afraid of death, which I think being afraid of death is kind of why my health anxiety stuff started. And I do have some physical things that happen, but they're kind of, I found a support group.
Oh yeah.
I have these muscle spasms all over my body, and I still think I have a brain tumor, but I don't have the money to go and get a test.
I don't have the proof, but I'm pretty sure.
But I found a group of this thing called benign fasciculation syndrome, where people just have a bunch of muscle twitches. Which muscle twitches are common, but to have 1,000 of them in a day is not as common. But there's a group out there where basically doctors say, yes, your muscles are twitching. No, it's not. It's nothing sinister. And no, we don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
So,
do you still have them?
Oh yeah.
Just
but
as
some
much,
days
or?
are worse than others. And then
Do you get freaked out by it still, or no?
No, they really don't bother me. The thing that freaks me out recently, the things that have been freaking me out is I get these weird sharp pains in my head, just randomly, like a sharp pain, and then of course I'm like, oh, that's the tumor. And then, like while I was in Denver, I was getting crazy bad chest pains and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but
I mean, it could be too, like just your body going through changes from losing so much
that's
weight.
what people said. But then I've gained weight in the past, so that could have something to do.
Yeah,
with
but
it.
I don't know.
But what I was trying to say about the fear of death for me is not being accomplished, like in my own head, like dying before I do something that I'm super proud of, That's where my fear of death comes from for sure.
Well, I mean, I have the same thing, like fear of that, like dying before accomplishing anything or not feeling like you've like made the most out of your time.
Yeah.
But then the nihilist in me is like, well, it doesn't matter.
Is that someone who like kayaks the Nile River?
No, it's actually
a nihilist.
A person who legally wants to change their name to Nile because of their philosophical views. But yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, anxiety.
I feel like I should tell a joke now since it got all serious. Have I told you the joke I came up with?
No.
So recently I graduated college and I majored in women's studies. But I was kind of pissed after I graduated. Like, it was a fun experience, but I was kind of mad because I never traveled. And I'd always heard of people doing a lot of traveling when they studied abroad.
That was so stupid. That's kind of good, though.
Dude, I think it's pretty good.
I think you just need to work on the
I kind of built it
delivery.
up. Since it's the podcast, I wasn't doing my physicality that I would have liked to included, which, as I tell the joke, I do somersaults. Oh yeah, which really adds to the comedic value.
If a comedian, if a comedian's doing somersaults,
hey, I think that tumor's acting up,
or cartwheels, then it's definitely a high level comedian for sure.
It's a camaraderie.
Anyway, so back to Denver. Other than the anxiety, it was pretty fun. Got to eat a bunch of food. Went to Mount Evans, which is the tallest paved road in America. There were a ton of people. It was, dude, I've been on scarier roads. There's no guardrail.
Was the road uneven or even?
Okay. I don't even understand what you just said.
It was an even joke.
Oh, you're an idiot. But yeah, dude. So there were a bunch of mountain goats and Asians. No, listen.
No, I know.
And I'm not trying to be racist, but there are Asian tourists that do not understand that you are not supposed to walk up to wild animals, especially a mountain goat with horns on its head. Nothing happened, but they were getting so close. Alex was freaking out. He was like, dude, they're too close. When the mountain goats, dude, one came. I mean, he was inches away from my camera. We were in the car. Alex got scared. It rolled the window up. I'm like, dude, relax. It's gonna be all right. But they walked up to us. But the reason why I brought that up, there was a video of this Asian lady taking a picture of a bear getting super close, and it charged her, and it kind of like knocked her over or whatever, but she was fine.
Is there a video of that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
In the wild?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn. I can barely believe
it. You're terrible. The altitude is no joke, dude. When we were hiking,
I mean, I remember from being even in Big Bear, hiking, I was out of breath, walking.
Dude, we were even higher than the elevation in Big Bear.
Oh yeah, dude, because you're in Colorado, bro.
Yeah, Big Bear's in California, so argument's invalid. But yeah, I would walk 10 steps, and I was like, "Oh, I can't catch my breath. It's probably my heart attack." And yeah. But another story that happened in Denver is
we're probably not going to talk about jiu-jitsu hardly at all anymore. We'll just kind of talk about.
That's not true. We already talked about jiu-jitsu once.
That's true.
So we were in the streets in Denver, and I jumped close guard on the stranger and then fucked him up real quick.
Oh yeah, that definitely
was
happened.
My jiu-jitsu. No, we were in the street, and there was this homeless guy. He walks past us. I'm assuming he was homeless. Talking crazy. I don't even remember what he said. Something crazy. And he walks down the street, and they're doing construction. There's temporary construction signs do not park here. And those were small. And then there's one giant road work ahead or whatever, orange sign. He took it upon himself to rearrange all of the signs that were out there. And he pulled the big orange one dead center in the road so you couldn't drive down the road. And it kept falling, and he kept picking it back up and making sure it was center. And I tried to get it on video, but I screwed up because I think I was just in awe of the situation. And eventually, once he was satisfied with the sign placement, he walked on to his next duty as a citizen of Denver, Colorado. Was that you? Because you seem like it might have been you.
Yeah, I actually flew out. I flew out to Denver and rearranged a bunch of signs this weekend too. So that could have been me.
Yeah,
it might have been a different person.
Same terrible facial hair and green pants as you do right
now.
Bro,
quit hating on my style. Sweatpants. We have to check the time because we have to restart the camera every 30 minutes.
We're getting close. We have 1 more minute.
A couple more minutes. All right, so that was Denver.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Did you smuggle any drugs with you back from Denver?
Tons.
Remember when? Hey, member.
Hey, member.
Hey, do you remember this? When you and Maria went out? Was it you and Maria that went out to Denver together?
Yeah.
And then we were at Grandma and Grandpa's house. They're probably going to hear this because I saw on Facebook they want to know how to turn the podcast on.
Yeah.
They probably still haven't figured it out, but we were there for Thanksgiving or something, some gathering of sorts. Maybe it was when we never mind. No, never mind. So they were asking about your guys' trip, and they're like, "Oh, so what'd you do?" And you told them, and then of course, and mind you, we're 25 or 26 at the time.
2 years ago.
Adults.
It was 2 years ago.
And I was just like a little brother,
oh, what else did you do in Colorado?
Else? I kept saying,
what else did you do?
Did you go to any sort of cool shops?
Yeah, what do they sell at those shops?
Yeah, what did you say? What did you buy?
That's because you're an idiot. I've told you have done that shit so many times in our lives. It's ridiculous. Where you make me tell on myself.
I know. I did that. So I guess this was when we were 15 or 16. But, and mind you, knowing psychedelic drugs now, I shouldn't have done this, but I was a fucking asshole. I don't know
love
what
how
else.
you're just gonna tell this story.
Why? It
Yeah,
was when we
'cause I
were
was-
teenagers.
Yeah.
You're not doing that stuff now, which we
Real
probably
quick,
should.
So I ate some mushrooms, tripped balls, and my mom came home from work, and I was coming down, still tripping, but coming down. Wasn't as crazy. And Justin was like, "Hey, Mom, Chris has to tell you something." And I look at him like, "Oh, is this for real? Is this happening? Like, am I for real telling her?" And then I tell her, I'm like, "I ate some mushrooms," and she flipped shit, but somehow...
I think you just said you were joking.
I was like, "I'm just joking," and she's like, "Oh, I'm not killing you," or whatever. But yeah, Mom's sorry.
He did.
I was on the old mushrooms.
Oh, wait, one more story real quick before we turn the camera off, because that reminded me of a story when I had my health anxiety. When should we stop it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're gonna stop.
We'll be
start
right back
with that story.
All right, so we took a little break. We had to kind of just pep each other up and give each other some emotional support, and also restart the camera because it only records in 30-minute intervals. But okay, so
It's a $2,000 camera, and it only records in 30-minute intervals.
Come
Sony,
on.
get your shit together,
come
please.
on, Sony. We're dropping you as a sponsor, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
for
You haven't sponsored us yet, but
But if you come to us with money, you can definitely be our sponsor again.
and then we're gonna drop you, just like your camera. We're gonna drop it. Okay. Anyways, so you were talking about when I kind of outed you in front of Mom when you did mushrooms. There was a time when
They were, for everyone wondering, they're portobello mushrooms.
some port,
Sauteed.
some creminis. When I had bad health anxiety, our mom came home, and I think it was probably nighttime, and you and some of our knucklehead friends were smoking and stuff, and I had tried it, but I didn't really like smoking the weed like you did when we were younger. That's all changed. I've grown up now. But I didn't like it, so I never really did it. And so I was sitting there, and Mom, and I just told this story to someone. That's what made me think of it. But Mom came in, and she looked at me, and she goes, "Hey."
She could probably smell weed, first of all.
Well, I think she
Why?
found it in an ashtray or
Oh,
something, like a
something.
joint or something. She was like, "Hey, honey." And I kind of looked at her and was like, "Hey." And she was like, "Are you okay?" Now, if someone has health anxiety, the first thing when someone says like, "Are you okay?" or like, you look like tired or something, you're like, "Oh shit." Like I have cancer.
I have a side story after you're done.
So she was like, "Are you okay?" And of course I start freaking out in my head. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She was like, "Oh, because you look kind of sleepy." And then I don't remember how the whole story went, but I know I ran upstairs at some point, either before she said.
Did you mention that she said your eyes were red? I'm
Did
pretty
she?
sure she said that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it freaked me out. So anytime I started having a panic attack and stuff, I would go take a hot shower.
Dude, that's
and just
what I do.
Yeah. Because it kind of comforts you or whatever, calms you down.
I used to take baths. I mean, there was one point where I was taking 3 fucking baths a day just to like relax.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would always
Sometimes
either take
with or without bubbles.
the bubbles help. The rubber ducky is a definite anxiety calmer downer is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I ran upstairs and like took a hot shower. And at some point, either before or after that, she was like, "I know you've been smoking weed or whatever." But I'm like, and I told Mom, I think I told her, I was like, freak. I was like, "Mom, I just thought I was having a stroke or something. Like, calm down." It was Chris. But what was your side story?
So 2 years ago, when all this health anxiety stuff started, I was having like stomach pains. So I went to a, what is it called?
Endocrinologist.
Something like that. Yeah.
Smoking on the endo.
Same. Yes.
The same
derived
bar.
from the same Latin word. So I had to turn in a stool sample, and so that's when you shit into a cup, you freeze it, and then you bring it to the doctor the next day.
I was confused because I was like, when did you learn how to build stools?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're terrible. So I go there, and I'm having these crazy stomach pains, and I'm like freaking out, thinking I have stomach cancer, and I go to the nurse and turn in my stool sample. I was like, is the doctor here? Because I'm in a lot of pain. I need to talk to him. And she's like, no, he doesn't get in until like after 1 or whatever, because he does colonoscopies and endoscopies in the morning.
She didn't say you want to wait. You want to grab a stool and wait.
Yeah, no. Yeah, oh my gosh. And so I'm like, look, I'm in a lot of pain and I need to talk to the doctor. And she looks at me and she goes, oh my, honey, you don't look good.
Oh God.
You need to go to the emergency room right now.
No, really?
Yes. And this was in Nashville. So I drove back to Franklin and went to Williamson.
And what?
ER.
You were fine?
They did that's when they did the CAT scan. And they're like, yeah, we don't see anything. So, yeah.
Jeez.
Yep. It all sounds so crazy now, but then it was...
Yeah, you're like, oh, dude. Well, you're just confirming my beliefs.
Yeah. Not fun. But I will say I did end up having an endoscopy and colonoscopy done after the CAT scan, and they didn't find anything. But I had a great time. Because the stuff they used to put you under, dude, I woke up laughing, and the nurse, he was a guy, and he started laughing. So he's like, man, I've never seen someone just crack up like this when they wake up.
Especially after having their butthole expanded or whatever.
And he was like, most people wake up and they start crying. And I was like, not me. I'm a soldier.
I'm a soldier.
It was a 4K camera that they stuck in my butt, and I didn't even know.
Is that the most expensive thing you've ever had in your butt?
No, definitely not. I'm not going to say what the most expensive thing that's been in my butt, but probably $100 bill. No, that camera is more expensive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean,
but they recovered the camera. They never recovered the $100.
It's still in there somewhere.
But health anxiety.
I feel like I thought of another story, but I can't. Oh, I was just gonna say I remember when I had a catheter, or not a catheter. I do remember that. I did have that. But when I had a camera up the other hole, the manhole, the tree trunk. Well, I was a kid because it was a little twig.
Yeah.
But
it looks like a wand from Harry Potter,
broken in 7/8. I woke up and I was like in pain, and I was just kind of like drowsy or whatever, and I was just like, and the nurse was like, are you in pain? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, she said, where? I said, where do you think? My pee-pee.
My wiener.
But that's when I found out I had 3 kidneys. Well, that wasn't when, I already knew at that point, and people always ask when I tell them that I have 3 kidneys, or what's called a duplicate kidney. It's like basically 2.5 kidneys. We're actually starting a new comedy series called 2.5 Kidneys.
Starring Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
He's the only actor. I guess we could have said Charlie Sheen, but I don't know the other 2 guys in that show.
I don't know either. The little kid's got to be a
I know man one of 2.5 men. That's a fraction, dude.
Dude, I'm trying to do the math. What was that? I was saying something. Oh, people always ask like, oh, because if they know I'm a twin, they're like, well, does your brother just have one? And we found out that no, in fact, he does have only 2 kidneys, and they're normal, but he is a lot dumber than I am.
Yeah,
we just recently found that out.
The third kidney is at least 20 IQ points for him. So
it does make me have to pee a lot, and I get a lot of thinking
but
done
I have
when
that
I pee.
Too.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'll pee. I mean, sometimes it's like every 20 minutes.
I'll drink a glass of water right when I wake up. I'll pee, and I'll take a sip of water, and then I'll pee that sip straight out. Back into the cup.
Dude, we're just running we're so hot, like
When
efficient.
you're an athlete, your body's very efficient.
Yeah.
More than the normal people. I was talking to Ryan yesterday. We're pretty much in our athletic prime right now.
Yeah.
They say 28 to 35.
I can feel it.
So we're there. In August, we start our athletic prime.
I'm excited. I'm kind of just taking a little break right now until we are in our athletic prime because I don't want to go to waste, you know. I want to be ready. I want to be primed, Amazon primed and ready.
Wow, Justin's a corporate shill.
No, but
Amazon.
I have made a lot of prime jokes, of course, at the health food store I work at. I'm not giving you free publicity. Fucking pay me.
Anything else happened this week?
Not for me.
I
trained
Justin,
twice yesterday,
which
and I
is
feel like
I
I've
didn't
been
know you
hit
did
by a
it
truck.
twice. Good for you, bud.
Yeah, but the second class I was kind of like,
you just watched.
No, I was just like, use me as a grappling dummy. I was like fine with it.
Did you tell people that way if they'd smash
If they
you,
did smash
knew
me,
that,
yeah. I'm like, I
wasn't trying.
No, I just kind of, I get off the mat and I just kind of take a big breath. I'm like, sometimes it's so good to go like 30%, and then I go back. No, I didn't tell people that. I mean, it's not like I wasn't trying, but it's.
But yeah, you walked in here looking like.
I'm an old dude. I've done too much damage to my body. I mean, I just get really sore like it because I'm not trained like I was, like as far as my physicality. Even though I am close to my athletic prime, I just don't feel. I feel like a fucking old man.
I don't know why I just thought about this, but I've been on a real Hot Ones kick.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be lame if we did like a Hot Ones edition of the podcast?
No.
And have someone like Maria ask us the questions?
No, that'd be cool.
All right, let's definitely do that.
I hope we don't.
I just want to eat spicy
as long as it's
shit.
as long as it's not. We should do like hot chicken sandwiches or something.
I
like
was thinking like getting.
It's
We'll
like a
get the different
Nashville.
levels of big shakes or something.
Yeah, that'd be dope. And it'll be a more of a homage.
Yeah.
What's the word?
It's
Mirage.
Amish.
More of an Amish towards the Hot Ones, because obviously that's their format. But that'd be fun to do.
Yeah. All right.
Let's schedule that.
It's booked. And then we need to figure out our schedule for next week. And hopefully we will have Dr. Joe on the podcast.
Yeah. So I think the plan, I mean, not that we really have a plan, but we are super disciplined and in our athletic prime. But
and we take responsibility for what we're responsible for.
Yeah, of course. We're going to try to maybe every 4 podcasts or so, maybe do a guest. And then also, like, for example, this week we didn't really have a topic. We kind of just talked and told stories and stuff, which I think will be fun to do maybe every couple episodes as well, just so everyone. I mean,
You're talking like there is no plan.
Yeah, there's not a plan, but that's how it works out in my head. Like what I thought about 5 seconds before I started speaking.
Oh, okay. All right. So, do we have any sponsors?
Yeah.
I want to say real quick, shouts outs to my nieces and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law for listening. They sent me a text while they were listening to the podcast that they couldn't stop laughing, which was weird because we're only telling like 2 jokes a podcast right now. So really they're probably just laughing at how dumb we are. But thanks for listening to the Rodriguez family.
Shout out to Bryce. He was like, yeah, I listened to your second podcast. It's really good. It's like you said in the podcast, like it wasn't as funny as the first one, but it was good. And I was like, oh, yeah, thanks, bro. And then I was like jokingly as a rebuttal because he has started a Twitch stream. I was like, oh, yeah, that's funny because I recently just watched a new Twitch stream and it sucked or something. And then he got kind of sad. So shout out to twitch.tv/abagofmids.
Oh man, I had something I wanted to say, but I completely
a new
forgot.
sponsor. Sponsor related?
No, I don't remember.
Listener related?
I think it was listener related. But I seriously do not remember. Oh, I remember now. Did I tell you what Mike Scott sent me?
No.
Okay, shouts out to Mike Scott. I'm just going to read the message that he sent me. So if you have something you want to fill space with for the next few seconds while I look for this.
I feel like
It had me
I feel like the
dying.
listeners would like to hear another joke, but I can't remember.
Yeah, all the jokes I know are awful.
And the ones that I made up. But I think I only had the one. I'm still working on my intro. My Type 5. Oh, have you seen the show Barry?
No.
Dude, you gotta. I'm
What
just gonna
is it?
shout out the show Barry with Bill Hader on HBO.
Oh,
It's
I love
great.
Bill Hader. All right, so shouts out to Mike Scott. He says, "I subscribe to your podcast. Keep me coming. I enjoyed it." He said, "Keep me coming. I enjoyed it." I think he meant keep them coming. I enjoyed it.
Maybe he
came.
Yeah,
We're all for that. Shouts out to Coming. The sponsor.
that's our sponsors.
So he said, "I subscribe to your podcast. Keep them coming. I enjoyed it." Then he said, "Justin is funny because he is so awkward at the beginning. LOL. You kind of carried him. The more he does it, the more comfortable he will get."
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
The first one's always going to be awkward.
yeah, but in a way, I guess I don't know, because like the podcast we did before, the Technique is King podcast, I was never really awkward. I felt like I did a good job, but this time it was like, I guess because I hadn't done it in a while.
And it was just me and you, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of carried him.
Yeah.
He'll get more comfortable as he goes along.
But either way, I came.
yeah, but seriously, keep me coming.
So on that note, I think
Yeah.
we can wrap this one up. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Keep
Make
everyone coming.
Make sure to use the code name come to save 10% off of your next
Baby.
baby.
Yeah.
All right, it's been real.
Peace.
I'm gonna mute your microphone throughout the podcast, and
It's just
I
gonna
think
be
it'll
you.
be better. What'd you say?
It's just going to be you the whole time?
I'm sorry, you're muted. What? Did you,
You kind of care.